Donald Trump is in terror as the voters in Texas have turned against him and his MAGA stooge, Ken Paxton. What you saw right there, a crowd of more than 4,000 people in Ken Paxton's hometown. They were there for James Tallarico, the Democratic candidate for that United States Senate seat in Texas. And the crowd was chanting, "Lock him up. Lock up Ken Paxton," who released a pedo on the street. Ken Paxton himself has engaged in crime after crime. He's impeached. He's corrupt and rotten to the core. And lock him up, lock him up, lock up Donald Trump as well. The people in Texas are pissed at what Donald Trump did to the state. How pissed? Donald Trump's approval right now in Texas, in the latest Economist poll, net negative 24. May I repeat that? Donald Trump is in terror because his approval in the great state of Texas right now is net negative 24, and James Tallarico is drawing massive crowds of over 4,000 people, all chanting in unison, "Lock him up." And right now, Democrats are not playing around. This is not when they go low, we go high. This is call him out, be aggressive, shut him up, and let's save democracy, damn it. Can I just show you another video of this massive crowd from Ken Paxton's home county right here? They're out for James Tallarico. Look how big this crowd is. Let me play you this video. Let me show you another angle of it right here. Let's play it. So is Donald Trump and Ken Paxton and state regime media, which calls itself Fox, are in terror over what's going down in Texas, where Donald Trump is a net negative 24 and he's getting lower, folks. What are they doing? How are they going after James Tallarico? Well, they're basically saying that James Tallarico is a transgender person. This is the level of maturity that we have in MAGA. They say, Tallarico, he's transgender and he's gay. He's transgender and gay. Does he have a girlfriend? It's beyond weird what these MAGAs are doing. And in fact, they're just showing how pathetic they are. This is what they've got. This is what they've got to try to bully more marginalized communities and then go after James Tallarico. He's a vegan and what are you even talking about? Watch Donald Trump literally in terror. Just look how pathetic he looks also. Play this clip.
They never change it. I hate to bring it up. I like to bring it up just before the elections because they won't change men playing in women's sports. They won't, this transgender, this guy running in Texas, he says there are 6 genders. He wears a mask all the time. He's a disaster candidate, I'll tell you. I think Ken Paxton's going to absolutely just destroy him.
So then Ken Paxton rushed to state regime media that's pushing out all the propaganda for him and Donald Trump. And Maria Bartiromo goes, "So what do you do about the perception of you from the Wall Street Journal and others that you're a corrupt guy?" And Ken Paxton's like, "Well, that's what they say about Donald Trump. So if Donald Trump can do it, I can do it." Here, play this clip.
Well, what are you going to do about your own record and your own perception? The Wall Street Journal describes you as scandal plagued.
Well, look, that was all pushed by Karl Rove, and I understand how that works, and I get why they said that. But the reality is, they could say the same thing about Donald Trump. When you're fighting the fight, unfortunately, you get attacked. And you have to defend yourself. And when you do that and they're not successful, they still accuse you of things.
Here's the latest from Harry Enton on some of the polling. This polling shows Tallarico up 44 to 40% against Paxton. And some of the latest top polling out of Texas shows that lead 47-44. However you look at it, Tallarico's up about 3 to 5 points right now on Paxton. Here, play this clip.
Choice for Texas Senate. You got Tallarico here at 44%. And then look at here, Ken Paxton, a Republican in Texas. The best he can do at this point is averaging 40% of the vote. I mean, I was looking at all the polling I could find. This is the best that a Democrat for Senate has been polling since like 2002. That is a very long time ago. When you have to go all the way back since I was in middle school, you know that the Democrat in this particular case is polling well in Texas.
So you know state regime media right now is going to throw all of their bag of tricks at Tallarico, and they're going to try to say, oh, it's Texas. He's Texas. He's gay, or he's transgender. He's a vegan. He doesn't like barbecue in Texas. Really? While Ken Paxton is out there literally letting pedos on the street, Ken Paxton let a guy back on the street who abused who raped a little boy, who sexually assaulted a little boy for years. Paxton went out of his way to help the pedo. Folks, this is the Epstein class in action, protecting the Epstein class. Let's be honest. Let's be real. These are sickos. These are disgusting, disgusting humans. So no wonder James Tallarico's drawing 4,000 people who are out there, not just cheering for Tallarico, but against this sicko Epstein class that's out there protecting the predators, protecting the cabal, these sickos. And this is what Fox is doing. Here they are saying, Tallarico, he likes baby lotion. He likes baby what? Here, play this clip.
Be sealed. Like, those are the only kind of Democrats that are going to succeed in Texas. It is not this baby lotion soft child. He looks prepubescent. Yes. He looks like such a beta male. Beta O'Rourke was his big brother in the after school program.
They'll say, but he's a seminarian. How dare you not?
He put the semen in seminarian as in naval, because if he were a Navy SEAL, it would help him.
All right.
So then they find out, actually, James Tallarico has a girlfriend. By the way, if James Tallarico is gay, if James Tallarico is transgender, if James Tallarico is vegan, who cares? Who cares? What are you, 2 years old? Let's respect all human beings and all human dignity. He isn't. It's a weird way to attack him. By the way, here's James Tallarico with his girlfriend right there at a music festival. And then New York Post is like, Dem Senate candidate James Tallarico, mysterious girlfriend revealed. And she's a vegan, everybody. So as this one account says, okay, here's the Oppo research on Tallarico. He is in a loving relationship with a beautiful girlfriend. Here's the Oppo research on Paxton. He literally freed a pedophile, and his wife divorced him on biblical grounds. But that won't stop these snarky, just disgusting people on Fox. Here they go. Jesse Waters is like, he's low T. He's low T, Tallarico. You're low T, Jesse Waters. You're up there wearing makeup every day. Not there's anything wrong with it, but you're as low T as you get. Nothing wrong with it. Here, play this clip.
All right, well, it was a historical defeat militarily, and could we see another historical defeat in Texas? Because the Democrats have nominated James Tallarico, who to me just screams Texas.
Well, first of all, I think it is very bold. One could even say brave, courageous, that the Democratic Party would choose Texas, of all places, to nominate their first transgender Senate candidate, who's clearly transitioning into a female.
And we heard from Stephen Miller on Tallarico. Yeah, Stephen Miller, he's the guy who's going to be telling us about masculinity. Stephen Miller's like, I think that he's a transgender man. He's transgender. What is up with these people? And here's what they want to do. They want to distract you from the fact that Donald Trump is pillaging Texas and states across this country. They want to distract you from the fact that while Donald Trump is out there doing 3,800 stock trades, making billions of dollars for him and his family, while Donald Trump's out there talking about golden ballrooms and quid pro quos with the Qataris and the Saudis, and then also destroying the Middle East and getting us involved in catastrophic wars there, while Kushner's out there somehow acting like he works for the United States while he's doing business deals with the Saudis, Qatar, and the UAE, and they're screwing us over here while people can't afford anything. They're going to go, oh, he's transgender. It's so ridiculous what they're doing. Here's Stephen Miller right here. Let's play it.
When Tallarico goes in for a blood test, when he gets a physical, blood doesn't come out. Instead, soy milk comes out. This man has less testosterone than Jasmine Crockett. It is a mind-boggling choice. They would choose a person to run for that office who looks like he doesn't belong in the Senate, but in a cabaret show. Look, at the end of the day, I have a hard time believing that the people of Texas, some of the toughest, roughest, strongest men and women, the pioneer heritage, the frontier history, from the Mexican-American War through the Alamo and everything else, are going to choose somebody with that much soy to be a U.S. senator compared to a real conservative, patriotic, God-fearing, and truly beloved statewide figure in Ken Paxton.
I mean, it's again so utterly despicable. Now let me share with you what James Tallarico had to say about Ken Paxton. Here's what he just said at that speech. Let's play it.
They're going to throw everything they've got at us. They've already called me a radical leftist. They've already called me a fake Christian. They've even called me a vegan. And those are fighting words in the state of Texas. You know, I'm an 8th generation Texan. I've been eating barbecue since before Ken Paxton's first indictment. They're going to call our movement un-Texan, un-American. They're going to call us a threat. The only truth out of all of those lies is that we are a threat. We're a threat to their corrupt system.
And let me show you the first ad that was released right here from James Tallarico about how Ken Paxton is a pedo protector. Here, play this clip.
Adam Hoffman received a controversial plea deal from Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. Hoffman
has admitted to abusing a little boy over the course of 3 horrific years.
The Attorney General's office made a plea deal with Hoffman.
And as part of the deal, he will not have to register as a sex offender.
Paxton's office inexplicably reduced a first-degree felony charge to misdemeanors.
The victim's family are accusing the Attorney General's office of failing to protect the victim.
Lawmakers are condemning Attorney General Ken Paxton.
The whole thing is a travesty of justice.
It resulted in nationwide outrage,
saying the state failed to justly prosecute this case.
Adam Hoffman was caught leaving jail, refusing to comment on his case after serving 29 days of a 60-day sentence.
We still don't know why Hoffman was able to cut his sentence short.
You just take a look right here at Tallarico versus Paxton. Tallarico, only member of the Texas legislature who's never taken corporate PAC money, former public school teacher in San Antonio, Presbyterian, studying to become a pastor, passed legislation to lower the cost of childcare, housing, and medicine. Whereas Ken Paxton, indicted on 3 felony counts for investment fraud. Staff reported him to the FBI for bribery. He was impeached by his own party in the Texas House of Representatives. He's a serial cheater. He stole $1,000 from another lawyer, and he lets out pedos. The Waco Tribune Herald: Paxton pressure builds after local plea deal for releasing this pedo on the street. And let's leave with something positive, though, to show you why the people of Texas are so thrilled about Tallarico right now, why he's drawing massive crowds. Here's the video that he talked about why he's running for Senate. This left me with chills. Here, play this clip.
The biggest divide in our country is not left versus right. It's top versus bottom. Billionaires want us looking left and right at each other so that we're not looking up at them. The people at the top work so hard to keep us angry and divided because our unity is a threat to their wealth and their power. So their social media algorithms and their cable news networks tear us apart. They divide us by party, by race, by gender, by religion, so that we don't notice that they're defunding our schools, gutting our healthcare, and cutting taxes for themselves and their rich friends. It is the oldest strategy in the world: divide and conquer. But we will not be conquered. We're underdogs in this fight. We're going up against those billionaire mega donors and their puppet politicians. We're going up against a rigged system, and we're going up against a lot of money. But I'm a former middle school teacher. I don't scare easily. And Texans don't scare easily. My granddad was a Baptist preacher in South Texas. he taught me that we follow a barefoot rabbi who gave 2 commandments: love God and love neighbor. Because there is no love of God without love of neighbor. Every single person bears the image of the sacred. Every single person is holy. Not just my neighbors who look like me, or pray like me, or vote like me. Those billionaires are trying to keep us from seeing all that we have in common. They're trying to keep us from realizing that there is far more that unites us than divides us. Because once we do, we will come together across party, across race, across gender, across religion, to take power back for ourselves and our communities. 2,000 years ago, when the powerful few rigged the system, that barefoot rabbi walked into the seat of power and flipped over the tables of injustice. To those who love this state, to those who love this country, to those who love our neighbors, it's time to start flipping tables.
There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think about all of this. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. And thanks so much for watching, everybody.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to add the MeidasTouch podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts for new updates every single day.